This always takes the longest part to like go live, and then it's like, boom, there you are. Welcome to Tarot and the Deviants. This is an extension of our Deviant Witchery show. I am here tonight with Melissa, the Dreadful Mystic.
Hello.
And tonight's topic is going to be about love and relationships. We have the questions and answers tab open. You have to click on the Google event link to actually ask a question. So make sure that you click on that link to participate. If you have any questions, keep them in alignment with the topic of the show. So if you want to discuss a specific card in regards to anything that has to do with love and relationships, definitely ask us. We can find it. We can talk about it. If you have like a topic that you want us to cover that fits in with this show, then go ahead and throw that out there, and we will like shuffle. We will pull a card and we will discuss it. That is so cool. And we just want to make sure that it's fun for everyone. We have a lot of fun just sharing, the different things that we pull out of the cards when we're together here. But we want to make sure to include you. So it's just more fun when you have more engagement. So definitely feel free to do that. If you want to maybe ask questions on how certain cards or how the cards can be used in love spells or in relationship workings, go ahead and ask that. But just make sure to keep your questions focused on love and relationships. Before we get into that, our throwing down of the cards, we kind of want to take the time to discuss and express like not our mission statement, but what the show is about. I feel a lot of people are a little bit confused about what we're here to talk about. Because I've had people come to me like, well, you're talking about like witchcraft and you're talking about like formulas and recipes. I expected to come here and learn about the cards. And if you actually watch the show, you will learn a lot about the cards, even when we are talking about how they fit into witchery, how they fit into creating specific formulas. We just express a lot of different views, and we're Deviant Witchery. That's our main show. We are tarot lovers. We are witches who practice and who read tarot cards. So we are going to filter our understanding through our witchery, and it just helps people to get more out of the cards by understanding different views. Like when you express certain things about the cards, I may not have seen it a certain way. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I can take that in. And so when we're talking, with each other, when we're engaging with people who are asking questions, when we express different things about the cards, I want you to like take that in. I want you to allow it to resonate on some level and try to understand where that's coming from. And that can be another insight into that card, and let it inspire you. Let it like integrate with your understanding of the card and let it move you so you can actually see the cards in a different light. And that's kind of what we're here to do. We're here to discuss the tarot. We're not here to give you like distinct, meanings, because that's boring.
Exactly.
It's just, so I apologize if there's any confusion about what this show is, but it really is a blend of our witchery and our love for the cards, and we promote discussion. And if you want to discuss anything specifically, go ahead and either bring that to the group when we have shows. If it's in alignment with our show's topic, bring that here. And we're happy to do that. We have fun doing it.
We do. We have a lot of fun. That's what I love about the show. It's not your atypical tarot talk, where it's just, this is what this is and this is what that is. It's interactive. It's more in depth. It is different. We try to show how you can use a card for just about any purpose, not just, oh, well, this is always what this card means and it's always going to mean that, because in my experience, that has never been true.
Right. And once you get out of that like mentality, once you get out of that that belief where one card means one thing, you start to open up to, like, I really like using the word plethora. You start opening yourself up to a plethora of possibilities, and you just become a well-rounded reader. You become better at your craft, and not just your craft as a witch, but your craft as a tarot reader. And if people are watching who love the tarot and don't want to practice witchcraft or don't want to understand it, that's cool, it's fine. But just think of it this way. If you read for a witch and we're talking about certain things, you can take in witchery and tarot, you can take that information and you can apply it to when you read for those certain types of people. You can also apply it to different types of working. So if someone comes to you, you might remember something we say and like, oh, this could be associated with this type of working. You could suggest them to suggest to your client that they might want to try this. It might be placed on them. There's certain things that you could utilize just by listening. You don't have to put into practice what we express, but understanding is expanding and opening yourself up to a whole world of different possibilities in regards to your reading practice.
Exactly.
We're doing like a lot of new projects, but I'll save one for the last, or we'll save one for the end of the show. But the one I wanted to share is we kind of just like threw it together, but we decided to work through this book in the Deviant Witchery group. It is The Easiest Way to Learn Tarot Ever by Dusty White. And if you want to get to know a little more about Dusty White, you can go on iTunes, and he has like a podcast, and you can hear the interaction, and there's a lot of different exercises, and he explains like the Celtic Cross a lot more. It's just a really fun book, and once we go through this, we might go through the other book, which is right here, which is Advanced Tarot Secrets, which is another good book and another good reference. But we are going to be doing that in the group, so if you want to participate, get this book and you can follow along. You can don't follow along, integrate, join, add your information. Even if you have never read the tarot, this book will help you, and the only way you're going to really start learning is if you start just sharing your experiences. Another good thing is like Nimbus River he posts like regularly in the group like his 3-card draw, or 3 cards each individual, and what he sees, what he learns from them, and definitely utilize those to look at the card and share what you see.
Yeah, and don't think that there's like, I hate to say this because I know sometimes it's taken not correctly, but don't think that there's necessarily a wrong answer. Tarot is very intuitive. You know, I've said it so many times to so many people now, I feel like I'm a broken record, but think of it like you would whenever you show your kid a picture book. They just tell you what they see. They don't sit there and contemplate and dig for other things. They just tell you, okay, Mom, this is what's going on. And they tell you and you need to try to take that attitude and put it into reading tarot. Just spit out what comes to you. You know, a lot of times your gut or your intuition is the right thing.
Right. And when learning the cards, again, if you're new, the perfect way to do it, a really good way, is just look at it. And if you don't trust your feelings for sure, but look at the card and try to verify like what you feel in what you see. So if you see something going on in a card, like if you notice like a certain body language in the card and it represents something specific to you, write why. So just say, well, I feel, I'm getting this from this card, and this is why. Because I see the man with his squinty eyes, and he looks like pissed off. His body language suggests that he's, not happy. So definitely start doing that, because if you can look at a card and you could say first thing that comes to mind, this is what I see. Another thing is like if you look at a card and you might not always see that, but you might be reminded like of a memory, like, oh shit, I saw this card and it reminds me of this one time that this happened and this is what I feel. So do that too. Like if you have a card that, you know, brings up a memory, especially even when you're reading, like I get that too. Like when I read for someone, I will throw down a card. I'm like, oh shit, this reminds me of this one time and this is how I felt. This is what happened. And so that energy, that memory gives me the information that I need to pass on. I don't pass on like that specific, you know, experience, but I know the energy, the information that happened in that experience that needs to be relayed as it pertains to the cards and my client. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes total sense. Like, okay, my husband's trying to learn how to read the tarot, and he came across this card, you know, and which this is a very different deck. That's not your normal Four of Swords.
Right.
And I was like, well, what comes to mind? And he was kind of sort of struggling, trying to get the right answer. And I was like, okay, whenever I look at that card, I said, automatically, I think of when I used to watch my daughter sleep when she was like really little. And her hands would always just be open like that and just slightly curled and just rested. I was like, think about the Four of Swords. You know, the Three of Swords before that is really rough. And the Four of Swords is like a rest after going through such emotional turmoil.
Right.
You know, it's like, so, I mean, and that's the way I think about things. It's not always a memory, but with that particular card, the first thing that popped into my mind was how I would watch my daughter. And I don't know, you just pay attention when you have a small child. You just absorb every little detail. And that was one of those details that I always noticed. And I was like, oh, that looks just like her hands did when she would sleep. You know?
Right. And that's kind of like that's what the cards are about, you know, when you're reading for someone, it's like your personal integration, that's going to be like my fucking word of the month or something, integration. It's your personal connection, and you, I want to say it again, but I'm trying to look for a different word. You putting your own information into, you know, into the cards, the way you connect. You see something, it connects with you. It inspires something in you that reminds you of something else, or it reminds you of a situation. It reminds you of a feeling, and all of that. It flags up so much. You get inspired, and all of that information, it triggers things, and it works together. So you have all of that flowing through you, and I'm like talking with my hands up in here. So you have all of that flowing through you. As you see the card, as you hold on to the question of the client, even if it's yourself, you hold on to that question and it just flows. So you have all this information that is given to you that you have to put together and relay.
Exactly.
And that's like very simple in how it works. And there really is no, there really is no wrong answer per se, but you have to back it up. If you just look at a card and you just say like macaroni and cheese, what, like, where did you get that?
Right.
I don't know. No, you have to know. Like you do. Like you either feel something, you see something, you just know something. But if you just say I don't know, then you're not connecting. Because you do know, like if you look at a card, you know something, you see something, you feel it, you connect on some level with that card, and that is when you respond and you express that message. So don't say, I don't know. If you say, I don't know, then you really don't know, and it makes no sense. So, but yes, remember, y'all, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask. Otherwise, let's talk a little bit about love and relationships before we start pulling cards. And love, that travels like on. We can't keep like the show in. Yeah, it'd be like a long ass show, like for days, just to cover like all sorts of love and the different types of relationship. It's like deep. But there's just so many different categories, and I guess I shouldn't say all types of love, because I feel like love is love, and there's always that unconditional nature of love. So love is like the constant, love is like that same essence, but it is kind of filtered in a sense.
Yeah, there's different ways that you love.
Yeah, love is it's the same thing. Like at the core, love is what it is. It is unchanging, but like the love you have for your best friend, the love you have for a family member, your partner, whatever. Those all are different, but that takes into consideration like different circumstances. But at the core of it, you still have that love essence that is unconditional, that you connect with. So that is like the same thing. I totally just rambled, but I was hoping that made sense slightly.
It did.
Sweet. Hopefully this doesn't like attack me. Okay, so and again, oh, this doesn't fit. Shit. Okay, let's do this. Sorry. Love can be like, and we don't have to just talk about lovey-dovey shit. We can talk about, breakups. We can talk about connections being not what they are, miscommunications. Love has so many different frequencies, and it could be like deceit, it could be lies, it could be trust, it could be mushy. There's so many different ways that you can express it, and if you have questions about anything in regards to that, we can talk about it. Let's see. Someone asked, what is a good card to use for drawing in a partner? So why don't we do you have a card off the top of your head that you would use, or do you want to, or would you like to kind of tweak that a little, and we can shuffle the deck and just see what comes up, and we can kind of take that and apply it?
Yeah, let's shuffle the deck and take that and apply it.
Okay, let's shuffle.
So I can think of several cards, but it's more fun to shuffle them, just let it be a surprise.
Right.
More fun for y'all for sure.
You're like, oh shit, how do you do this? How am I gonna put the tower in this situation?
Right.
So what card would be good in drawing a partner? So the card that comes up is going to be, we're going to fit into how you can utilize to draw a partner. And don't tell me about the tower.
I feel like I'm cheating because this is a pretty easy card. I almost feel like I should shuffle more, maybe.
What is it?
It's the card everybody thinks of first.
Are you kidding me? You suck. No, that's fine. That's fine. Like, you suck.
No.
But before you go into that card, I was listening to a podcast, and I know this. I've known this, even before listening, but it's worth mentioning here because you mentioned it. Shuffling your deck, and we just kind of do it a little bit here because we're just studying and expressing. But when you're reading for a client, when you're reading for yourself, you aren't just going to shuffle a certain amount of times. What you want to do is hold that question in. And the podcast I was listening to was the Easy Tarot, Dusty White's podcast. So definitely check those out. But you want to keep focusing. Like, I use the question as a mantra in my head, like, woo, like that. It spins around. It really does. Like, I have it go in and I focus on that question as I shuffle, and I keep, when I feel it's right, boom, I stop. Or when I get told to stop, I stop. And it's a process. It's not just like 1, 2, 3, boom, it's done. No, I shuffle a lot. Like I shuffle until I feel that it's done. Like, we're ready. And then after that point, you don't want to over shuffle, because if you were told it's done and you shuffle again, you technically could have a reading that's not meant for the client, or a reading that doesn't make sense because you just stepped over the point of where you needed to be. Right,
and that does take practice. I also, whenever I'm reading for a client, if I know anything about them, when I'm getting ready before I shuffle, I sort of reiterate what I know about them in my head, because to me it makes the reading, I don't know, I feel like I draw upon more personal energies from them whenever I think about those things. Like, if I was reading for Michael, I would think about deviant witchery, different various things that I know about him personally. And then I would start to shuffle my cards, and then I would think of the question that he wants answered. So like you said, sort of just going on and on in your mind. And to me, knowing when to stop can take a little bit of practice. For me, a lot of times when the cards seem hard to shuffle, where at first they were very easy to shuffle, that's a good indicator. When cards start just popping out of the deck, that's another good indicator for me. That's one of the things I pay attention to. A lot of times I just kind of hear it in my head, stop.
Yeah.
But at first it wasn't like that. At first I had to pay more attention to how my deck felt.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, I can feel like I get that feeling like boom, stop. Or like if sometimes I trance out like when I'm shuffling, and so the deck won't shuffle. Like it just like boom, stops. I'm like, okay, wake up, like come out of it and focus on the reading. But yeah, so yeah, it definitely does take paying attention to and practice. Which again, if you do your psychic development, if you start training, meditation, paying attention to how you feel, that all helps with your tarot practice. But so let's talk about your card, dear, since you got the easy card.
Yes, I'll go first because this one's the easy one. This one, okay, this is the Green Witch Tarot. So a lot of the major cards are not called like the normal Rider-Waite major cards, but they're the same thing. This is called the Lord and the Lady, but it's obviously the Lover's card.
Yes.
Yes. And of course, you can use this card to pull in and attract a partner. I mean, what better? This is all about duality. Finding someone that matches who you feel like would be a good partner for you. Here she is. She's got spears in her hand. Obviously, she is an active woodland type of lady. And he's got a bow, and of course, this is the horned god and his consort as well. But if it were me and I were going to attract a partner, I would use this card, meditate with this card, concentrate on not just what I know to be a good partner, but sort of use this card to pull someone towards me that would match me in ways I don't realize, or it's not a conscious thing. Because, you may say you want Matt Damon, but you really may need a Keanu Reeves, okay? That
yes.
Kind of so
that you suck. I like that. Well, and also you could actually utilize that card to draw in like a specific type of partner, because it's a major card, so it's like a major life experience. So that's kind of almost like someone who's attached to your spirit, someone who's meant for you. But you could utilize that card to tap into that energy and bring in not like someone who's going to be temporary, but someone who's going to be more prominent, someone who possibly might be your life, your lifelong partner in crime. So that I like that. I really like that. I love that imagery. And to be honest, I really didn't want that deck, but now that I saw that card, I want that.
Well, I love the two dogs at the bottom because a lot of people don't think when they think the Lover's card as a loyalty card, but it very much is. And when I look at those two dogs at the bottom, obviously one belongs to him and one belongs to her, and that's automatically what I think. Puppy love, loyalty, things like that.
Well, yeah, and you could see, and that's another thing I want to point out too. You can see in that card where her dog knows what it wants. Like it's looking, it's very like directed. It's very, very sure. His card or his dog is kind of like sniffing around, like just curious. So you could definitely, that's perfect for drawing in someone that you really need or you really want or really complements your life experience. So yeah, that card, I'm so mad at you. That card was like super freaking easy.
I know. I feel like I cheated.
But that's a perfect card. I was thinking like, I wonder if the Lover's gonna come up because that's like super freaking easy. But it is, and I would definitely utilize that, not necessarily for like a one night type of thing or, you know, a temporary thing. If you're ready to be in like a committed relationship, if you're ready to draw in someone that is going to flag up in you things about your life that, or, you know, even different beliefs that you might be holding on to that you're not comfortable with, that you're ready to let go of because you're ready to allow someone else into your life to share with. Because when you draw in a partner, when you draw in someone, you also draw in that energy that is going to light up those darker aspects of yourself, because that's kind of how it works. Like, you connect with someone and then all of these other beliefs start to flare up, your insecurities, but not in a negative way. It can be if you allow it to be, but it's more like all these different beliefs come up and you have these insecurities, but then you work through them. So it's like you are igniting in them all of these things to be cleared out, and they are igniting in you all of these things to be cleared out. So together you come together, you unite, and you create a stronger link. So you almost come together in a sense to heal and become one. Still your individual selves, but it's really cool to feel that energy. It's really interesting, and that's kind of what I see in that card in the Lovers. It's like, and if you want to like tailor it more so to witchery, it's like you have these witchy energies coming together to remind each other where their roots are, where they came from, and that they were together before, they are together now. So that definitely shows the type of energy that you could utilize in calling in a partner. It's not someone who's just this lifetime or someone who's just now. It is someone who has been with you before. It is someone who knows you on levels that you may not remember about yourself. So that is a very powerful card to draw in.
Definitely.
Well, you suck.
What did you get?
Well, it's okay. Yeah. The Page of Swords.
That's
not too bad, but okay, so you can see, okay, the moon up in here, boom, boom, and you can see like he's very like he knows what he wants. He has like a one-track mind. Swords, obviously, air, intellect, intelligent, bitchy as well, and very precise. So you could actually utilize the Page of Swords, and this is like a new page, is like new energy, younger energy, still kind of like getting their feet wet in a sense. So you could utilize this to kind of like track, like to put the feelers out. You want a relationship, you want a partner, so you could actually channel this card and utilize this card in finding the right type of person for you right now. So this card could almost be worked as you send it out to grab. So you send all these different like energies out to grab something and pull back what is actually going to be in alignment with you. So this is definitely a card that you could utilize to draw in someone who will best meet your intellectual needs, your mind needs. So if you need mind stimulation, because let's face it, if you're with someone who is boring you, if you're with someone who doesn't really stimulate your mind, have conversation, who doesn't, do all those things, it's not gonna last. And if it does last, it's sad because it's boring. You get bored. So the Page of Swords, definitely you could utilize in calling forth that energy. And you can you also see that, sorry, the back is towards the past, and looking towards the future. So definitely the Page of Swords, if you attract a partner, if you utilize it to draw in a partner, then you want someone who is more like rooted and situated in the present, looking towards their future. So you're looking for, this could be someone to draw in that has a mission, who wants to better their future. You don't want a deadbeat. No one wants a deadbeat.
Right.
And if you do want a deadbeat, that shit's wrong. No, you got to have a job. You have to have a car.
Yeah, and also when I think of the court cards with the swords, I think of someone who will, like you said, it's very precise and sort of cut away at the bullshit
Yeah.
and, sort of bring what you want, precisely what you want to you. So you can use that card to be very specific. Like if you are wanting specific character traits, especially that deal with an air element,
Yes.
use that card to pull those to you and cut away, all the crap, all the chaff and get to the wheat or whatever.
Right. And also this could be if you I don't know how well that's gonna get across. It is your own personal practice on if you choose to attract a specific person or not. But if there is someone in your eye that is more business oriented, who's just started a business or who just started, going to business school or whatever, you can utilize. Sorry, I just totally saw something else. You could utilize this card to attract them. And it's this type of person too. So if let's say you're in college and you are around people, obviously who are in college as well, going to school, different majors, whatever. If you're looking to attract a certain type of person, like a person who's just going into maybe law, perfect. You can use this card to attract that person or attract that type of energy, that type of person.
I just had the most evil thought, but if there was a hot new young professor at college and you sort of had your eyes on him, that would be like the best card in the world.
Hey, see that?
You sort of pin him to your headboard. Or whatever.
Oh my. That's so true though. And with and you could just tell by the body language and the type of dress in the cards, like this is a person who has a little more well-roundedness, a little more confidence, even though they are new. So they could be a little cocky. So you have to be aware of that. So when you're attracting this type of energy, swords can be a little cocky, a little confident, but very smart. And very and Page of Swords is definitely eager to learn, eager to kind of prove themselves. So always take that into consideration when you're working with that card. But definitely that actually would be a really good card to bring someone, attract someone who you seek to stimulate the mind, who you seek to be even a business partner. Someone who's just starting out. There's so many different things that you could add to this card, but that's kind of what I get. So yeah, that's a good card.
That was a good card.
Yeah, it wasn't as easy as the Lovers shit.
No, I just knew it was gonna be the Lovers or like the Two of Cups, which is basically the minor version of the Lovers.
I would see, yeah.
Yeah.
So
maybe the next one will be more. Now the next one is gonna be like super hard, and yours is gonna be really easy. That's the way it works.
Well, yeah, I don't know. It's probably gonna be even more challenging. So y'all, if you have questions, go ahead and ask. If you want us to pull a card for a certain topic, certain question, ask up here. We will definitely do that because that's the best way to learn. And then we're actually able to integrate. There's my word again. That information with what you're asking. Other than that. Sorry. Other than that, what should our next category be?
I don't know. What about? Trying to think of something that you wouldn't sort of outside of the box.
Okay, so you think about that for our next category. Let's say you catch someone. Let's say you catch your lover cheating on you. And you are no. So you want to do something to get back at them. So let's say, how do you utilize what card, the card that we pulled from our deck, that will, how you can utilize that in malediction and getting even, getting revenge, and also how you can utilize that in a spread. What does it mean when that comes up when someone's cheating on you, when you catch someone cheating on you? When you have that feeling.
Right. That's good. That's a good one.
Yeah, let's see what she gets.
Well, nothing's like immediately springs to mind per se. I'm trying to keep my mind blank. That way it's not so relevant. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I love, I have to thank Nimbus for, I really have to thank him for starting to do the cards again, starting to learn the cards and starting to, engage that way, because it totally inspired me. Seeing the cards through a witch's perspective, totally, it gave me that fire. I'm like, oh, I love cards. Like, I have been reading cards and working with cards since I was 10. For a long time. I'm old. Yeah, so I've been reading the cards for a long time, and you never know everything, and I'm always constantly learning, constantly trying to perfect my craft. And for the longest time, I stopped, and he totally inspired that. And
yeah,
thank you. And I have to say thank you to Melissa as well, because we wouldn't be doing the show if she didn't, message me, and it just
say, hey, let's do something.
Yeah, like, what should we talk about? Let's talk about the cards. Okay. Okay, did you pick a card?
I haven't turned it over yet. See, I told you. It's going to be difficult.
That's funny. Y'all gonna laugh when you see this card. Okay, let's go with you. What card did you get?
Oh my gosh, you're going to have to help me with this one, because I've never thought anything malicious about this card ever. The Three of Cups, or the Three of Chalices.
Yes.
I don't know.
Okay.
You could use this card as if he was cheating on you and you weren't sure with how many people.
Right.
You could use this card to really screw him up as far as like get his dates crossed, because this, as I just dropped it, this card is about meetings. It can mean meetings, it can mean friendship, but it can mean celebration. So let's say you use this card and he's got more than one lover on the side, and you can use that card to make him screw up the meeting times, make the two, other lovers run into each other in a very public setting.
Right.
Things like that to throw him off his game and really give him a taste of his own medicine, kind of, in a way.
Yeah, that reminds me. What is that movie? I think Cameron Diaz is in it, and the dude from Game of Thrones, and the three chicks, like they find out that he was all basically doing them, and they come together and they like plot to like take him down.
Yes,
that card reminds me of that. So you could definitely kind of utilize the Three of Cups to put people in, because their emotions are on high, because it's the Cups card. Their emotions are on high, and also you can channel like a spiritual energy from the Cups. So you have that emotional and spiritually charged energy to bring the other parties together to find out that, look at, and if you obviously you catch them cheating, if there's more than one, you could actually be the leader in that connection. So you bring the other people together, you raise your glass like, haha, watch this.
Right.
Because I see that movie, that was the first thing that I saw. I was like, and then I was like, oh, there's like a threesome. There's a threesome,
Yeah.
And for some reason, I'm also getting like a poly relationship, So right. It could be so many different things. Like, but to use in malediction, to curse someone or to make someone, kind of pay for catching them and cheating, you could. No, I can't even say that. No, that's not. I'm not even going to say that. But you could definitely. Oh, that's just bad. if he's cheating on you or she's cheating on you, either or, and they're cheating on you with more than one person, you could definitely utilize that card to make sure that, and you better be not sleeping with this person once you know, okay? So you could utilize that card for them to come in contact with not so very nice, like disease, like some nasty shit, like gross, you know?
Right.
So
Maybe you can't get rid of things.
yeah. So, because, you know, the cups are water, kind of like, you know, fluids being exchanged and different stuff like that. So and I know cups are, that card is like such a nice card, but if you look at it in a different light, you can definitely utilize that card to tap into like bodily fluid and different exchanging like that, and make sure that your target comes in contact with something that's not so clean, and then they experience that.
Plus, this card speaks to community as well, and venereal diseases are community diseases. Right. I mean, they travel in a close-knit community. Granted, like Michael said, do not be sleeping with him if you use this, because then you'll just hurt yourself.
So many different ways. But yeah, that... and that card is like almost double-edged, because you could utilize it to put them in contact with that type of energy, and at the same time, it's almost like a mantra for you, like, haha, raise your glass. I did this. You know, he's suffering, she's suffering. I succeed. I'm. That's funny. And you know what's also funny is the card that I got. Like,
what did you get?
It's just dumb. Because what are they doing there? Hello. You know, like, Ace of Chalices is like the Ace of Cups. Aces, again, are beginnings, and they are also endings of a spiritual nature. They are endings in a sense, not like goodbye per se, but like finalization. You know, it's right. Finalized. That obviously depicts someone just doing the dirty. Although, oh my gosh, there's like a interesting. Sorry, there's a key on his neck.
There's a what on his neck?
You can't really see it here, but there's a key. There's a key on his neck. Like, he has a key necklace.
That's interesting.
Yes, because aces also are keys. They're divine blessings, or they are divine tragedies. Oh, that is horrible. That reminds me of. Did you watch American Horror Story Coven?
Yes.
When the what's her face's dude was sleeping with the redhead?
Yes.
That reminds me of that whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
Not a good situation to be in.
No.
So, to use this in malediction or revenge, or how, obviously, if this card came up and is my lover cheating, I would say yeah. With this deck, with this specific card, obviously this person is cheating, but they're not making. You could utilize this to create chaos, because if you look at it, they're not looking at each other, and they look like they're just lumped on each other. They're not like, there's no energy, there's no motivation. There is this lack of spiritual connection, which is interesting for the Ace of Chalices. At least what I'm getting here. As it pertains to this, specific question, is you can, okay, I don't like this. Like, I really don't like this, but there are some people who their significant other cheats on them and they still want them back. Okay. For whatever reason, I'm not going to judge. I mean, I do judge because I think it's stupid, but you have your history, you have your connection, whatever reason, shit happens. And if you still want them back, you can kind of utilize this card to get them back, because you can utilize this card to make sure that they feel nothing. Like, they feel absolutely nothing with their mistress or whatever. They feel nothing there. They have this cold-hearted nature when it comes, can't get it up. You could utilize this to kind of give someone a limp dick or whatever, but you know, there's nothing there. Even for her, like she's not feeling it, she's not turned on, she's not intoxicated. You can utilize that card to bring that energy about. So if you want to make sure, again, if you really want that person back, you can utilize this card to make sure that whoever they're sleeping around with, that feeling is just like neutralized. Like you ask for divine blessing, you ask for this divine energy to come in and kind of neutralize the energy, take away that urge, whatever. But to make sure all of that is kind of neutral and they don't feel anything and there's no connection, there's no understanding. It's just like it's done, you know?
It's interesting because I was thinking along the same lines, but different. You could use that card also to, you know, rekindle the flame between, you know, that he feels for you. But you know, he's got that key around his neck, and you just don't give him access to the lock. As in, he sort of becomes obsessed with you, but you won't let him have it.
That's like tying someone's nature.
Yeah.
In a sense, like you could utilize that for sure. That could be like why he can't get it up for other people, like why he's not having fun, why he can't feel anything when he's doing other people, because you are the one who controls that.
Right, exactly. And that's, you know, that's sort of why she's kind of like there but not there, and it looks like he's so much more into her than she's into him.
Right.
And that's what made me, and plus the key, that made me think, you know, yeah, you can make him be your, you know, just obsessed with you. I would watch it though, because it can get to a dangerous obsession when you're dealing with any kind of obsession. But, you know, make him pine after you while he can't, and you know, he's not attracted to anyone else, but you're not giving it to him. You're like, no, you cheated, you know, fuck off.
Right. Absolutely. I kind of think that's cool because it's the ace, which again, like we said, is like the beginning of something, which could be the beginning of a new start for the person who wants it, and the ending of something, the end, and it's kind of ties in because when you end like an affair, it's still the beginning of the new relationship that you have with the person you actually were with. So it's really, I don't know, it's interesting, but there's definitely that energy in that card. Yeah. So let's see. Yes, she could represent like the other woman. Yeah. Okay. So is there a card that would help with letting go of a toxic love, or just knowing why that person's presence still lingers? That's like two
kind of different.
Yeah. Is there okay, so let's do the card, because the other one is more of like a actual reading. Let's do a card for letting go of toxic love.
Yeah. I agree. But you know, that the Ace of Cups, that was very interesting. I like that. That was a very different way of looking at, well, both those cards, really, because I just don't think malediction when I think cups too much.
Well, when I think cups, I automatically think of Pisces, and so I do think of malediction because I have a very distinct love-hate with Piscean people. So, and more so, like I do, because cups, water, all that. So Pisceans are very prone to addiction. They're very prone to feeling so sorry for themselves, for being depressed. So there's all that energy that you could utilize in cursing. So that's I do, when I think of the cups, I think of that, but you more often you really don't, because you see all like the happy energy in the cups cards.
Like, I think we talked about the seven of cups before, reversing it and turning it into a malediction type thing.
Yes, yeah.
And that to me is very I can see that. But most of the time, I think, what is it? Is it the 4 or is it the 5 of cups, where it's the one cup in the air and they have all the cups in front of them, but they're still not happy?
Oh shit! I know the card.
I think it's 5 of cups. Is it 5 of cups?
Shit. I'm gonna look it up.
It's either the 4 or the 5 of cups. I can't remember.
It's not the 5 of cups, because 5 of cups is when the dude's like all depressed and all the cups are spilled over.
Right. So it must be and that one too. But the 4 of cups too, you can make someone just unhappy with everything that's in front of them, no matter what. So really, either one of those.
Yeah, the 4 of cups is when like you have that divine blessing, that divine cup that's being given to you, and he's like this and not looking.
Right. So that would be more of a witchy thing, as far as like having someone ignore their natural abilities or their divinely given abilities. But the 5 of cups is the one where you can just make someone not be happy no matter what they have.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So those are good for malediction.
Yeah, and
really, that's about the only ones.
Right, and that kind of like teaches, like, just from us, like you can. It's all in how you perceive and how you can kind of like open your eyes to a different card and how it resonates in the different expressions of the card, and how you can kind of like tie it in with anything, and that's
right.
That's powerful. I need to get another new Ludi deck because my deck is getting like tattered.
I love it when they start sort of getting worn and tattered, though, because I don't know, to me it adds so much character to the deck in general.
I love it too, but I just, for some reason, like, I'm like, okay, well, what if it, like, a card, like, just, like, rips or something? I need to have a backup. Like, come on, man, come on.
That's true. Very true. Okay, I got mine. It's okay. You get to go first this time. I went first the last time.
What, me?
You. I don't know. It's not that bad, honestly. I can think of a few things, so at least one good thing.
Okay. Is there a card that would help with letting go of a toxic love? That's funny. That's interesting. Okay. Ludi Lescott, one of my favorite decks. It's the King of Cups.
Okay, go ahead. This is so funny.
Okay, so in this, I think this card more so, at least right now, gosh damn it, this freaking glare. How it's being expressed to me is you kind of have to just get into that mentality and get into that acceptance that this love is toxic. Not going to change. It's not going to change. There's always going to be that addiction. There's always going to be that individual who, this really to me for some reason speaks to, and that it's like going to make me weird. It reminds me of a situation where, there was an individual who was addicted, an individual who chose like a different path, and you might have cared for them, but they like their vices. They like to surround themselves with things that pretty much bring pain and hurt. And so this card more so is about understanding that's not changing. This card, I have to look at it. Sorry. This card is more about being angry. Get angry, get process your feelings. But this card is more so on understanding where the other individual has been, blocks off the past, blocks off the present, does not even want to look at the future, looks at the future with disgust, like wants to only be in the moment and wants to only fill themselves with things that are going to make them high, that are going to make them in a sense oblivious to the responsibilities, oblivious to the things. And this is kind of like what I'm talking about when it comes to like the cups and Piscean energy, where they can be very addictive, where they can like their inhibitions can be a little out of whack and very, very compromising to their health in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
And you see there's like blood spilled right over here.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of comes from the past. And to me, and then this kind of, I don't know why I keep getting this, but this could also represent, and I don't know why with the King, but almost like domestic violence, like domestic abuse, like covering up tracks. Like in their past, they had some really abusive, expressions of. It's not even love, dude. Like it's not love at all. Toxic love. This is not love. This is like a very physical and a very aggressive and rooted in stupidity and ignorance. This is not love. You cannot attach love to this because the energy that comes from this, the energy that comes from like this toxic love, that's not love. It's toxic. It's just toxic. It's not. There's no love there. So you have, and that's the thing that this card is expressing right now is like you have to separate yourself from your feeling of love towards another person versus the toxic energy. The love you have for someone is not necessarily the love that they have for you, and you love the idea about them, or you love what they may have made you feel. But why are you attracted to a person who is hurting you? Why are you attracted to a person who is abusive, a person who has a history of violence, a person who has a history of dominating and controlling others, who wants to hide it? You ask about their past, and then they don't want to tell you. They're just like, they get mad at you. They're like brush it off, and that's kind of what this card is expressing. Is like they want to be in the moment, they want to be happy in the moment, or not even happy. They just want to like escape. This is all about escaping. I'm the king of the place. I'm the king of the home. I don't need to answer to anyone. I don't need to do anything. This is my home. This is what I do. Fuck you. I'm gonna do what I want. That's what this card is about. And so when it comes to it being a card on how to let go of a toxic situation, I won't say love, but a toxic energy, this says, look in the fucking mirror. You know how you feel, and if you want to understand more, feel love. Then channel love, because you will know the difference. So step into yourself, step into what you love, not what you love about the person, really. Step into how you feel when you feel loved, and then see the situation for what it is. This is a restriction of love. This is a control freak issue. And so you have to, this card is more so saying, look in the mirror, look at the situation. Don't lie to yourself. Be honest with yourself. You already know the issues here. You already know the shit that is wrong, the shit that is royally fucked up in this person's head.
Right. Okay, I just had to show you the card that I got.
What?
I know. I don't even know what happened there, but the only thing I would add is that to me, kings speak of authority.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, King of Pentacles is what I have.
That's funny.
Isn't that hilarious? Okay. But kings speak of authority, and like with the King of Cups, you can sort of command authority over emotions. Cups deal highly with emotions, and so you can command these emotions to open your eyes. Like you were saying, to reveal that it is toxic. You can command the emotions to show you the truth, because as much as we don't think of truth being an emotion, it is. You know when you hear truth. Mm-hmm. It's not something that it's a very intuitive gut feeling. So that's what I think of when I think of kings. And the King of Pentacles, when I think of toxic love, and like you said, it's not really love, but you're sort of in the have your head in the clouds, because you're thinking of things in a very illusion type way. And the King of Pentacles can ground you and make you understand that this is toxic. This isn't some fantasy. This is the real world. The King of Pentacles grounds you to the earth. And when you're grounded to the earth, there's not too much that you won't see for what it really is. So you can draw on the King of Pentacles to not just open your eyes and show you the reality of a situation, but also to show you what real abundance, real love, real I almost want to say fertility in love, and I'm not talking about children.
Right.
Like a real abundance of love. you can draw on that because he knows exactly how abundant love or any type of um, emotion, even though Pentacles don't really do with emotion, but any type of emotion is, he can show you the truth of it and show you what it really could feel like.
Well, yeah, and if you think about it, like, yeah, pentacles aren't necessarily emotions, but they could be like physical manifestations or physical representations or expressions of emotion. And that's an interesting card too, because, you know, toxic, if you think about it, toxicity can be very fluid. So very cups card, like very emotional, very watery. And then it also takes root in the physical world. So you have your, you know, physical, the pentacles, you have the king, the domain, you know, the person who's the rule, you know, the ruler. It's so interesting that both kings, you know, came up. And the king, again, could be more of like this physical expression. So you understand that I just cannot call it love, but with toxic energy, you see that the person's more about the physical nature. So the king might be like more into like sex, more into like, not just sex, but what you do for them. It could be like a physical, like you buy them shit, you pay their bills, you know. It's toxic because it has a very physical, and it also has like a very physical toll on you.
Yeah, it's draining.
Yeah, so I try, and this is just me, but when people say toxic love, I try to remind and express that it's not love. If it's toxic, it's not love.
Right. It's something else.
It is something else, and as hard as that might be for someone to comprehend or even admit, it's also a freeing thing knowing that it isn't love. You know, so I'm not experiencing love. This is not love. Love is so much more. It's so much better, so much freeing, and it's just a great feeling. And what I'm feeling now, this hurt, this pain, this toxicity, that's not love. So that's also, you know, follow that and hold on to that, knowing that that is not an expression of love.
Exactly. And, you know, another thing that sort of just came to me, the earth is very good at purging anything that's toxic. You know, it has its own defenses and own ways that it will purge anything that's toxic. If there is a toxic spill, as much as people do try to have an effect to make it happen quicker, the earth itself has its own way of dealing with that.
Right. And
you can draw upon that.
Right. And obviously, like, if you think about it as well, in another sense, the king, again, is the ruler of his domain. So if you want to let go of this toxic energy, you go to the king to help you command and demand that that situation be grounded, be set into the earth, be neutralized, be taken care of, be just owned.
Right.
And the kings have the power to give you confidence, to boost your, you know, your power, to boost your decision making. So that's another thing to process in letting go of toxicity.
Exactly.
So we have been on here for quite a little bit. It seems like we just like started, but before, like, we will have to kind of wrap this up soon. But if any of y'all have another question, we can definitely take another question. We might just draw another card or something. But there was something I wanted to express, and I don't even remember what it was. Oh, I wrote for some reason this morning at work, I was thinking about this, but the blog that I wrote on a witch being impeccable with their word, that also is very, very important here, not just for us as tarot readers, but for us when we deal with love and relationships. You have to be impeccable with your word. You have to, you know, express yourself from your heart. You have to express yourself from a very true nature. You do not want to be deceitful. You do not want to be, you know, you don't want to lie. You don't want to tell lies in any relationship. You don't want to make someone believe that you are something that you're not, because if you do, then it eventually gets, you get found out, you different situations. And the hard thing is like sometimes people believe that what they say about themselves is true. So they believe that they're all these different things about themselves when in reality it's not. So it's very, very important that you kind of go back and you follow that, like be impeccable with your word, get to know who you are, get to know what you're expressing. It's a very important lesson for all of us when it comes to relationships of all kinds.
Definitely.
Do you want to pick one more topic to pull a card on, or
we can?
Like, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, let's do that.
You get to pick the topic.
Okay. Let's do it. Well, okay, this is gonna fall more under relationship than love.
Okay.
But let's pick a card that will bring to you someone who's just fun. Like it might just be fun in bed, someone just to not really something permanent, but just something fun.
Fun. I like that. Freaking hippie. I like that. That's a good one. Okay, so we want to attract someone fun. And let's let the card dictate to us what kind of fun that is.
Yes.
Oh, there's a challenge.
It's a challenge.
And I hope y'all are taking notes because there's a lot of information, even though I feel like we didn't tackle a lot of cards, but we did at the same time. It just flows so fast. But there's a lot of different things that were said that you could, write down and utilize for your future readings or, castings.
Yeah, because don't ask us to remember because we probably won't.
No, I'm going to have to go through this again and write it down myself.
I know. There's been a couple of our shows that I'm like, man, I really need to go back and rewatch that so I can write it down and know what I said.
I know. Okay, let's see. Fun, fun, fun in the sun. What the hell?
Oh, no, but this part is crap.
Why is it crap?
Oh. Okay, no, it's really not. It's really not. But at the same time, oh no, I just have to tell you what first went through my head. Okay, you want me to go first?
You can or I can, whatever you prefer.
Okay, I think you went first last time. I'll go first.
All right.
So I got the 8 of Chalices. So I'm like, oh yay, hobos. But no.
Hobos have interesting stories.
They do. No, that's not even right. That's not cool. But no, actually what I'm thinking more of is obviously this is a very in the now card, and he is a traveler. I mean, and not just any traveler either. If you look closely, I don't know if you can see that, but he has like scrolls.
Oh, scrolls.
So he would be something maybe like a traveling author. It obviously is someone of intelligence. It's not just any traveler. But anyway, so let's say you wanted to get to know someone for a very short time. A traveler would be perfect because they're not going to be around. At least not for a very long time. They're moving constantly. And so you can utilize the 8 of Chalices to attract someone who would be fun, intellectual conversation, not just, dumb and fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we all know what you mean.
But someone who is intelligent and can carry on a good conversation, who you wouldn't, you would love to go out and do many things with. He can show you a lot of new things. Most travelers have a lot of world knowledge, and you have a lot of fun with. Just someone who it's pleasant, and you don't have to worry about them hanging around afterwards when you feel like the relationship should really be over.
Right. Was that did you see that was the 8 of chalices?
Mm-hmm.
You know, an interesting thing also is eights. Eights represent like ideas. So they ideas like and thoughts. So you could definitely, that obviously like definitely aligns with that card. And that's definitely like a traveling companion, like a like even like a tour guide maybe.
Right.
Like someone like if you want to travel somewhere, you need to hook up with someone who's gonna like know, like just not like, you know, the common stuff, but the local, you know, fun type things.
Right.
You need to connect with someone like that, and that is definitely someone you can pull into your experience to show you those personalized, those local, you know, hot spots.
Oh, definitely. 'Cause look, he's like on a beach, and you can tell it's like an abandoned beach. There's not a lot of people there. I mean, it's a town way back here, but
Right.
it's got that sort of private but well known to him kind of feel to it.
I don't know why, but for some reason that card has like this very Rasta like vibe. I don't even know. Just looking at it, I keep thinking Rasta. Yeah, and just yeah.
Oh, but you're right. It does. It's a very islandy feel to it. Maybe it's the big bird. I don't know.
I think it's everything in that card, because even like I've met a lot of Rasta people who are so interesting. Like those, they're not, you know, people have these assumptions. It's like, no, they have these mind, like, you know, everyone that I've met has had like a very interesting and unique mind. They've had their different beliefs, and they're fun. Like they're very knowledgeable in certain spiritual things. And so that reminds me of that. And the way that his, like, you know, he's posed, like with his, you know,
yeah, he's like contemplating,
like what's next, like, and so that's definitely a fun individual that you can bring into your experience, that's going to keep you on your toes, like, let's go do this, and then they're on their way. They're not permanent. You can totally see that they are not permanent. Yeah, I like that card.
I do too. That wasn't too bad, really.
No.
What's
My card. My card is a very physical card. It's the Knight of Pentacles.
Oh.
Yeah. The first thing, why do I always get like the very physical, like sexual cards? And I'm not saying this is sexual, but I can make everything freaking sexual.
That's why you got the sexual sword.
But if you look at I'm like, oh, someone's gonna have a good night. They got some claws. Like, that's the first, like, not even joking. The first thing that like popped into my head was like someone's claws running down someone's back. I don't know, like, I was not even thinking about that, but that's like the first thing that popped into my head. So this,
it's got a very dominatrix feel about it.
Yes, like you need to like be. Yeah, like this to me is like someone that you want to have a lot of physical fun with. It could be very sexual in nature, might not be, but to me that's kind of what's coming out, is that very, like, you know, dominating, very like, this is what we're gonna do. You know, you're gonna submit to me. So this is a card that's gonna bring like someone who is gonna tell you what to do, someone who is gonna do for you. And that can just be also in like a physical sense, not just sexual, but like, you know, going out and doing stuff. Like, this is someone who's going to take you out of your comfort zone. So if you need someone to temporarily come in, because there are people who are scared to experience this, the Knight is definitely going to come in and be like, no, we're going to take this head on. We're going to go do something. We're going to have fun. You're going to have fun. So this is someone who is going to be a little more, you know, dominating in the earthly realm.
Right. And, you know, I don't know if it's the wheels or what, but it makes me think of a very fast-moving experience.
Yeah.
Something that maybe just one or two nights, and then you look back fondly on, you know, on down the line. Like, oh my God, I just, you know, can't stop thinking about those few nights.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Another thing that like pops into my head when looking at this card and just kind of like contemplating it is a blast from the past, almost like someone that you haven't seen in a very, very long time. They come back up into your, you know, like almost like one of those, a person that you had like a very intimate connection with, had so much fun, moved on with your life. Like years down the road, you see them again, and like you kind of like hit it off again, just have fun, let them go again, and it's like one of those type of individuals that this card expresses. So if you need to bring someone back into your life for a little bit that you had fun with, you could definitely tap into this card.
Or maybe one of those people that you always wish you had,
Yeah.
but you didn't. And like, okay, you're free, and then you find out that he or she is free all of a sudden.
Yes. That kind of like resonates with the dominatrix, the dominating, very commanding, compelling nature of the card too. It's like you are telling basically you're traveling back into the past. You're saying this is what I want. You're going back to your yearbook or whatever you do, some experience, and you're like, boom, you're here. You're now. This is gonna happen. We're gonna have fun.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah,
I like that card.
It's interesting for sure, and you can see there's like a lot of steam in the card. Haha, let's go.
Right?
There's a lot of movement in this card.
There is.
So yes, I think that is a wrap for the cards. Before we close out, we have a new little project. I don't know how often or whatever it's going to be, but we, at the suggestion of someone very important to me, we're going to do a show. I need to cut my goddamn nails. Shit. Okay. We're going to do a show on Oracle cards.
Yay!
I love these.
Yes, I do too. Someone pretty awesome got me some.
Oh my gosh, someone pretty awesome inspired that. There's a lot of awesome going on over here.
There is.
You guys, this deck is like
amazing.
Yeah, it is super fun. But the Oracle cards kind of get put on the back burner, and people don't really know how to utilize them. So I thought it was a good idea when it was like suggested to me by James that we do I like that card.
I love this card. It's not necessarily the best card you want to turn up, but it is so, I don't know. I just love it.
I know. It's I like the Hand of Fate.
I do too.
But not a lot of people know how to work with the cards, and you kind of have to rely on the psychic information that you get a little more so. Yes, that's a nice card.
I like that card.
And that's what we're gonna do. I don't know where we're gonna take it or when it will be, but when we decide to have it, we will let you know. If you have any questions, definitely on the comments, in the video, bring them up. Anything you want to know about Oracle cards, anything you want to see in a show pertaining to the Oracle, let us know. Let us know, because it's just gonna be fun. We like to see what you all have to say, and yeah, Oracle
and we
cards.
love suggestions.
We do love suggestions. Lots of suggestions. And then we're gonna put up another card in the group later that we can kind of share and study. The last week we put the Tower. The Tower is an awesome card for. I think it's a really good card on so many levels, and more so for self-discovery. Because once you experience the Tower, once all this shit gets blown out of whack, you see the truth, you see the true character of people, you see the true character of a situation, and so the Tower comes in to really blast it up, and you get to know your foundation again. So when something super divine happens, when something comes in and shakes you up and it removes some shit, you are left that little child inside of you is left exposed. And so you are seen and you experience yourself as your true nature in a sense. So you realize that maybe, oh shit, I don't really know what I'm doing, or oh shit, I don't know where I am, or oh, maybe I don't like the situation I'm in, or, you know, this work that I'm doing, I don't like it. I've invested like, you know, 3, 4, 5, 10 years into something. I'm not happy. So that I always find the Tower card to be very empowering.
Yeah, I've not ever really looked at it as too much of a bad. You know, a lot of people put a lot of bad thought into the Tower, and to me, it's never. I just never felt that way about it. I mean, sometimes the situations leading up to the Tower suck.
Right.
But
yeah.
the Tower itself, to me, is a very, like you said, a very empowering, full of action and movement kind of card. But I will say, a lot of decks have completely different aspects of the Tower. Some of the Tower is just starting to fall. Some of them are in the process of falling. But like this deck, the Raven's Prophecy, it is fallen and burning. Like
Nice.
end of that momentous change. So I always find that very telling. And whenever you have, if you're new to the tarot, when you start collecting a lot more decks, you start to get a feel for the fact that whenever, like, if you use this deck and the Tower comes up, it's not the beginning. You're looking at it towards the end on.
Right.
Like you're about to see whatever it is that's beyond that huge flame that's in your face that you can't see past.
Right.
And I've always found that really intriguing because each deck that I've ever had, the Tower is never the same as far as like where it's falling.
Right. And yeah, I know. I that's kind of one of the first. I look for Death and the Tower and the High Priestess.
Yeah, because like this card, it's called the Wild Hunt instead of the Tower, which honestly it's just as appropriate.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's more of it just started than it is it's already fallen down.
Well, and Ludi, this is
Yeah.
like,
And that's kind of in the middle.
Yeah. But if you look at her, she's like she kind of embraces it.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like, oh, what's going on? But she's just like, take me. But yeah, the Tower card was awesome. So we'll definitely pick a card and we'll post it up. And we encourage everyone to participate and share what they feel, what they see, and back it up with what you experience in the card or whatever. But let's learn. Let's have fun.
Definitely.
And with that being said, we shall see you next time. Peace out, peeps.